Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 131. That's all I gotta say. Just fucking blah. Richard, you have to remind me, what was the song that was stuck in your head last night?
Way to Amarillo.
Which I know I've heard at some point or another, but I listened to it last night to try and familiarize myself with it, and I'm like, no, can't see that one getting stuck in my fucking head at all. Just don't really remember it. I know I've heard it, but not like this big, huge fucking hit like Richard made it out to be. Oh, you've definitely heard of it. When in fact I hadn't.
Everyone's heard "Is This the Way to Amarillo" at one point in their lives. It's a classic.
Oh, I'm sure I've heard it. I just, when you mentioned it last night, I was like, no.
So who's that particular song by? I'm trying to remember.
Tony Christie.
No idea.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, but that's Steve. That's hardly helping your
well,
case.
it sounds like a country song is what it sounds like.
It is a country song.
So I should have heard it because, I listen to country songs. Now I'm going to have to Google it. Is this the way?
Are we doing verbal Googling now?
Yes, I am. That way people know I'm actually Googling it. Because they can't see.
You're on the level.
You've got Siri on your phone.
There is a giant pink Bigfoot-looking creature in the video. Interesting.
In the video?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, Neil Sedaka wrote it. I love Neil Sedaka.
No.
I am seriously a huge Neil Sedaka fan.
How about Michael Bolton?
At one time.
You
Not
fucking
anymore,
do. You like you some fucking Michael Bolton.
I did. I have to admit, Michael Bolton was the shit for a while.
Yeah. I fucking knew it. This is where I throw myself under the bus and say that I actually enjoy Richard Marx every once in a while. Yeah, exactly. Complete fucking silence. As it should be. I should just hang my head in shame.
Who Richard Marx is.
That's because you're a fucking asshole.
I'm looking at the lyrics to this particular song.
Do you know what that dickhead did to me last night when I fucking said that I didn't know, I couldn't place the song, didn't know who I was? He fucking...
What did he do?
He says... right afterwards, I was like trying to tell him that I was into the new cover of "I Don't Care Anymore" by Phil Collins by Hell Yeah, and he's like, I don't know who that is. And I mean Phil Collins when I say that.
No, he knows who Phil Collins is. Who
Exactly.
doesn't know who fucking Phil Collins is?
That's why I say he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Chris, if you remember properly, you'll know that I did say that I know who Phil Collins is.
Yeah,
because I know in the air tonight.
Afterwards, because you were like, I don't know
that. I'm looking.
I didn't know the song you were playing.
I'm looking at the lyrics, and I cannot recognize that song.
Yeah, I don't.
Right. This is just.
But Neil Sedaka wrote it, so it's got to be good.
Well, I'd say play the fucking thing for us, but then we'd have our show ripped off YouTube.
Breaking Up is hard to do. I mean, that was some good stuff from Neil Sedaka.
Yeah, was it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I bet you didn't even know he wrote that.
Yeah. No.
I always thought he looked funny, though.
Okay.
I know Richard's got a topic for tonight's show, but I have to find out how his seance went.
That's his topic.
Ooh, goody.
See? What'd they tell you before? I told you you'll enjoy it. It's good. You know, it's something you definitely would have wanted follow up to. And you were like, "Oh, Jesus."
Yeah, well, you know, because Richard's topics generally are pretty
shit.
Yeah, plain and ordinary and boring.
No, listen, for the record, Richard comes up with some good ideas to do some shit. Somewhere between the thought and the execution, you and I become involved.
Yeah, the execution is the issue. But I promise, Richard, that this time I'll behave myself.
It's my cover on Facebook is, did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? No. This will be like every other time. But okay. And I want it noted that I was prepared to tell you about this last night, Chris, so we didn't have to do it on the show.
Oh. But you said,
in front of
But you said to me, do you want to save this for the show? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And you were like, okay.
Yes, I was exaggerating for comedy effect, Chris. You're supposed to go along with it.
Oh.
Jesus.
Well, I think really Richard's just a glutton for punishment, and he keeps coming back for more.
It certainly feels like it. My self-esteem has taken a massive downward spiral. But yeah, me and Chris were in a hangout last night. We were trying to get Frank Smith in with us. Pussied out again, Frank. It's not that intimidating talking to two of your heroes, okay?
Well, he said
we're just ordinary people.
I wasn't there, Frank. So you know it would be just like talking to two normal guys. And,
wait a minute, wait.
Celebrities.
For the record, Frank Smith said that the Google Hangout kicked him out or something. Now, yeah. I don't know if that's true. We would love to talk to Frank. He's been a listener for a while now, and we wanted to invite him in. But you know, it was just Richard and I hanging out, talking about music, comparing dick sizes.
As we often do.
You know, that sort of thing.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. Trading manscaping secrets. And then Richard says to me, all right, you can go now, Richard.
Right, yeah. So, of course, I remembered that he'd asked that he wanted to be told about my Halloween experience. And so I was like, do you want me to tell you now, or do you want to save it for the show tomorrow night? And Chris was like, save it for the show. And that's, you know, a brief history of the show topic.
The end.
Yeah, the end.
So are you actually going to talk about it, or are you just going to go over the history of how it came to be?
Okay, so for those of you who didn't listen to our last show, which apparently is everyone, my girlfriend is a bit of a pagan, and she didn't want to do Halloween. She wanted to do some ridiculous festival called Samhain, where you're supposed to talk to the dead. And so, you know, instead of dressing up in revealing clothing, she sat down cross-legged in my living room and lit candles, and we tried to contact the dead.
Like the Grateful Dead? Did you have a telephone?
No, like the actual dead. Oh. Like spirits of people, you know, who have died in our lives.
Not Jerry Garcia.
Not Jerry Garcia. Although I did try and talk to Rick Mail, but it didn't get in touch with me.
And that's it?
Shame.
That's the end of the story?
Well, we had a massive fight at the end of the night.
Was there any spirits? That's what I want to know. Did you talk to any dead people?
Of course there weren't any spirits.
Well, I guarantee, Richard, it's because of the attitude you had going into it.
Yeah, that was her position as well, which is
about
what led to the massive argument.
See, the spirits didn't come out because you were an ass. That's pretty much it, right?
Well, she's a lot more abusive.
Well,
than
yeah,
ass, but
I'm just trying to calm it down for this, family show that we're on.
for this completely unrated train wreck that we're all doing weekly for the fans.
Yeah.
So you're pretty
We're
much
mortally
saying,
horrified by how few people listen to it.
so you're pretty much saying, Richard, that it was a total and complete disaster.
Well, I sat down cross-legged uncomfortably. There was no artificial light. Well, it was all candles and a fire. And, we just sat down and talked about dead people.
Sounds romantic.
And tried to talk to them.
Was there even a hint of a dead person?
Well, one of the candles flickered once.
There you go.
Wait a minute, did you dress in any type of ceremonial garb?
I drew the line there. I drew the line. She wanted to dress in like these big poncho things, like druids would wear.
Like with the big hood and all that
poncho?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Like a cloak?
Druid garb.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And I was just like, no, that's not happening. And
well, you have to for that festival or that celebration or whatever you call it. Well, that's why the candle didn't come.
So the candle flickered, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a ghost." Flick once for one, yes, and twice for no. And it was at that point that,
fuck you, Richard. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It went exactly the way I thought it was going to go, basically.
So you were making fun of her religious experience.
And or lack thereof.
Right. Well, yeah, apparently lack thereof. Would you go, I don't know your beliefs, Richard, but I'm pretty sure you're not, a churchgoer. But if you were, and you walked into a church, would you walk in with the same attitude?
What?
He'd have a hard time because it would be struck by lightning.
No, I'm just saying, if you walked into the church and everybody was praying, would you say, "Oh, looky there, the Holy Ghost just went by," or some bullshit like that? Would you do that?
I would call them backward morons of an outmoded belief system. Yeah.
Like out in the open.
Yes. I've never really been big on religion.
I'm gonna take a stab and say that Richard doesn't go to church as much, Steve.
Well, I know he doesn't. I'm just trying to understand Richard's motivation. Is it
I just think it's utterly like so. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? I can't. Irresponsible of us to blame all the good things and bad things on some bearded twat in the sky. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's obviously no God. Just look at the state of the world.
What if there's like gods?
More
And they're all like they're Warren too, and can you buy into that?
No.
Okay.
I don't buy into gods at all. I just think that it was something, mysticism was something we had when we were nomadic cattle herders trying to make sense of the world. And now it's lazy to rely on that stuff.
So religion, basically what you're saying, is a way to explain the unknown.
For stupid people.
Well, no, I wouldn't call them stupid people. But
stupid and lazy people, yes, it's a way to...
No, before science and technology and all that stuff, we didn't know.
Back then, yeah. Back then when we didn't know, yeah, it was a way of controlling things. We could pray to God. Ask him to stop burning shit.
And he did, apparently, because, it says so in the Bible.
Okay. It also says you're not allowed to eat meat on Fridays, and that Adam was 900 years old.
Yeah.
It's just saying.
Wow.
What
And they're off.
the hell? Okay, I got to give you a little history about where I live here.
It's
There
it's a
is-
fucking speedway.
Pretty much in the
Fucking-
summertime, all summer long, we have a really nice
Wow.
park, and yeah, and
Is that Jeff Gordon going by? Is it turn 3?
He lives right in the middle of the Talladega racetrack.
There actually is a speedway close by, but anyway, motorcycles. Those were motorcycles going by.
Oh.
And it's like constant all the time. It's nice out today, so they're out riding.
Gotcha.
Sometime, yeah, and there's a traffic light right there, so sometimes they just sit there and idle for a while, but they're really loud.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, and I've prayed for them to go away, and so I'm almost gonna have to agree with Richard that no, it just ain't happening. All the time though, all summer long, and any time it's warm out, and it's like 50 degrees out right now. It's not that warm, but these guys that ride the Harleys and whatnot, they'll take every opportunity. So it's like 24/7 out there, right in front of my house, bastards.
Good times. Great oldies. You need to just start cranking some Born to Be Wild.
I'm just gonna stick with Neil Sedaka.
Get yourself a leather jacket, Steve. I think you should join up. Start riding. Take Marsha on the back.
I'm scared of motorcycles.
Get a motorcycle and a Falcon.
So get a fucking scooter.
Well, I thought maybe with a sidecar, because that would give me a little bit more rubber on the
Oh, I
road,
could definitely see you driving a motorcycle with a sidecar. Get yourself one of them Can-Ams.
Get a
Or a
I don't
trike.
like the way they look.
Get a trike.
get a Hawk if you get a scooter.
Maybe I'll.
Hawks go better.
Well,
And-
I think
and
if
Steve-
I
Steve,
do that,
wait,
I'm going
wait.
to make it what?
Wait. And so that you don't have to change the color afterwards, make sure you get it green.
Oh yeah. Are you speaking of the birdhouse? we painted the birdhouse green today.
I did see the picture of that, and I actually was going to mention it.
I'm sure you were. But no, if I go motorcycle, it's going to be like a trike, and it'll have a Volkswagen engine, of course. So
I think I seriously, I think you should start riding. You in a leather
You'd have
jacket.
to go like a parrot
a parrot.
I
for
used
a
to
trike.
a parrot.
Yeah. A parrot for a trike.
I don't even know what that means.
Get a parrot if you're getting a trike.
What the hell's a parrot? Is it a brand of trike?
No, it's a bird.
I know what a
like
parrot
call.
is, but what do you want me to have a mascot
very
on my
angry
fucking
with
bike?
No, like certain birds go with certain vehicles. Falcons go with motorcycles. Hawks go with scooters. Parrots go with trikes.
Parrots.
Yes, parrots.
I don't think you're right.
Listen, I don't care what you think, Steve. I'm right,
And if
that's the end of
if
it.
you go parrot, you have to go the full Monty, and you have to dress in pirate garb.
I would probably do that.
Parrots do not necessarily mean pirates.
Pirates don't
Well, I
necessarily
associ-
mean. What the fuck do pirates mean?
Pirates are like people that steal from other people on the high seas.
Okay.
See,
They have big wooden ships.
I can't
and
do
cannons.
I can't do that then.
Skulls and crossbones.
Oh! You wait! You were saying that parrots don't necessarily mean pirates.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. So
I-
I must have
I
caught what you
can't
said wrong, because I thought you said pirates can't be pirates. And I'm like, why the fuck can't they be pirates?
I can't be a pirate. I don't like the water.
You'd be like the most boringest pirate in the world.
Listen,
Yeah, because
he's-
I'd never go out on a fucking boat.
He's scared of motorcycles. He won't go out on
I'm
the
not
water.
scared of them.
Can you imagine him on a pirate ship? He'd be the only one in a life jacket.
Hey, listen.
with one of those
I've
little
had-
donuts tied to his side.
He's constantly checking himself for splinters.
I've had 2 near-death experiences in the water, and I'm okay with not ever getting in the ocean and or lake again in my life. So there.
Did like a frog hold your head underwater?
No. Once when I was a kid, I almost drowned in a creek, but some hero saved me and all. So that worked out well.
Creek.
A
What?
creek.
The
Like a
American
little
version of
stream.
creek is obviously radically different from the English version of a creek.
Listen, it was named Boggy Creek.
It wasn't
could-
Boggy Creek. It was
You
Elk
could not
Creek.
drown in a British creek.
Well, this creek is very shallow, but I was very tiny at the time. I was like 10 or younger. I might have been 7. 7, I think I was, actually. You can drown in a tablespoon of water, Richard.
It'd have to be
proven.
exceptionally. It's proven. What?
Yes, you can drown. If you get a tablespoon of water in your lungs, it can make you drown.
Right.
Look it up.
Didn't. Okay, I will. I'm looking at it now.
Right. How
On
much
my
water does
invisible
it take
computer.
to drown? And then a couple of years ago, I was in the ocean and I got caught in what do they call those? A rip current or whatever?
Riptide.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Nearly dying. Yeah, so I'm okay. I'm not going to be a pirate anytime soon.
Good, because you'd be an absolutely terrible one.
I know. I would suck at it because I don't like to take advantage of people.
And you wouldn't drink any rum. You'd be a fucking
No.
you'd be a clean and sober pirate, and who the fuck wants to see that?
I would wear the eye patch though. I think that's pretty cool.
Conducting health and safety seminars before every incursion.
Can you see Steve's fucking pirate ship now, all green with sticker decals all over it?
One of them driftwood things
Well,
in the
driftwood.
shape of
Oh,
a dragon.
everything would be made out of driftwood on that fucking thing.
The whole boat would be made out of it.
And green, the USS Marsha.
He'd have one of those fucking this is my fucking stick family fucking sticker thing on the back.
Steve the pirate.
So you didn't get a chance to talk to dead people, huh?
No,
I'm
no,
trying to change the
Was
subject if
no-
you haven't
no-
noticed.
no
Was that
dead
your
people.
effort to try and embarrass me again?
No,
now that-
you embarrass yourself, Richard. I don't have to do that. I mean, we have the audio. So,
I'm just going to shake my little purse at you, Steve, for your little outburst there.
you carry a purse?
Yeah, I do. I'm a man. I can do anything and be a man.
Why?
I am not insecure.
Is it
I
like
carry one of those little over-the-shoulder things for a ferret. It's a designer ferret.
is
It's a
it?
pink bow.
Does it like got gold sequins on it and shit?
Yep.
That's how I pictured you.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not,
I
not
am
that
not
there's
going to-
anything wrong with that.
Ah, you're the one that's got a problem with it, Steve.
I have
not
no
me.
issues.
Then why are you keep bringing it up in an
you brought
attempt
it
to
up.
embarrass me?
You should
You
get one of the, you
brought
should
it
get
up.
one of those bandoliers, Richard.
That would be pretty cool.
They got all the little pockets all the way around. Yeah, buddy.
Thanks, Chris.
You got like a
I mean,
little
it'd take away that
ferret
whole
backpack.
fucking man purse thing. I mean, not that I have any problem with it, but some people might.
One of
You'd
those
look more
baby
like
carriers,
an
like they
English
go on the front.
Chewbacca
Yeah.
with the bandolier. I think that would be all right.
You done?
No,
Okay.
I'm not done.
Okay.
You could go fanny pack.
Okay.
Joe Rogan goes.
Good.
Joe Rogan goes fanny pack
How come people wear fanny packs in the front? They're supposed to be worn in the back.
because it's probably easier for people to steal shit out of them if they're on your back.
So why aren't they called like penis packs then?
probably
I'm just asking a question here, a legitimate question. You put them on the front, they wouldn't be fanny packs anymore.
it's just sit in it, Steve. Just sit in it.
No, it's a legitimate question, and I wasn't trying to make a joke.
You want to know why they're not called penis packs? That's your legitimate question.
Absolutely. Because you put them on the front and they hang over that area.
But women use them as well.
Well, then they're, I don't know,
Vagina packs.
pussy packs, I guess.
That's just wrong. This should be called. What do they call that portion of your body between your fucking organ, male or female, and your stomach? The bunt.
Oh, okay, bunt pack.
There you go.
But
But
the fanny pack is it's false advertising. Nobody wears them there.
Okay.
So they got to call it what it is.
If it hurts your feelings.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
I didn't realize that you were the arbitrator of reality.
No, here's the thing. On Facebook all week, I've been seeing what people are offended by. And so I had to pick something to be offended by, and fanny packs are going to be my thing.
That's what you're going to be offended by? Seriously?
Absolutely, because it's just as good as anything else to be offended by.
Speaking of Facebook, 2 days left, guys. Are you excited?
No.
It's almost over. It's almost finally over.
No, it won't be over. That's the problem.
It's got to be over.
It'll be over, but it won't be over. Because whoever wins, the other people are going to just get worse. You know, it's going to go on for, the next 8 years or 4 years or
Imagine
12 years.
if there was going to be a civil war.
There isn't going to be a civil war.
Yeah, but imagine if the one happened. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, you can say that from over there.
Yeah, I can.
We kind of live here.
A civil war over two presidential candidates.
Then listen.
Nobody really wants.
John Teeter would have been right, just like a little off.
Well, maybe
Just a little off, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Blame that on the divergence, though.
Yeah,
So if there is a civil war, we're going to go live on air and praise John Teeter's correct prediction a little bit because he was off.
Yeah,
we only praise him a little.
Yeah, we're gonna give him some praise, kind of. Well, maybe,
because he was right.
Not.
It's the kind of prediction that's up there with.
I was saying it out of the side of my mouth, motherfucker.
Well, no, seriously though, I don't think we'll go into a civil war. But if you've been paying attention to Facebook, and you kind of almost, if you're on it, you can't help but see it. I mean, the two sides are so vastly fucking different. I mean, it's the biggest division I've ever seen in a presidential election, and maybe it's just because this is one of the first ones. I know when Obama was elected last time, there was Facebook and stuff, but everybody and their fucking brother's on Facebook anymore, and so you see more of it. Maybe that's what it is. But I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of things from both sides, from people who I never thought would behave in that manner. And it's I could see how people would think civil war because the two sides are so fucking different, the ideals. But I don't think it'll
What's
happen.
weird is most of the wooers on my Facebook are pro-Trump.
That seems to be the case. Most people who are, into Bigfoot and paranormal and woo, as you say, seem to be Trump supporters, yeah.
I'd have thought that there'd all be liberals considering their realities based on absolute nonsense.
I'm not making any political statements between liberals and conservatives, but because
I will happily make them for you.
Okay. So would you consider yourself a conservative then, Richard?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely conservative than liberal.
Okay. I would lean conservative myself.
I mean, I'm not like hardcore conservative.
No, gosh, no.
I'm pro-life.
Right.
I believe in capital punishment,
Okay.
but I support gay marriage
I'm
as well.
pro-life unless you're a criminal. Then I'm going to kill you.
I mean, I don't believe in abortion.
I know, but just see both sides on that issue, and I don't want to get too political, but, pro-life. It makes it sound like if you're against it, you're against life itself, which you are, I guess, in a way.
Well, that's why they picked.
And then they use the word pro-choice as if, it's a good thing. You have this choice. And so I just call it what it is, abortion,
All right, I'm against abortion. I'm pro-capital punishment, but I support gay marriage.
You're fucked up then. You're not a real conservative, that's for sure. You can't support that.
Well, the way I see it is, it's better to support gay marriage and get all the gays in the conservative camp so they don't end up bloody Democrats.
See, I support gay marriage as well. I have no issues with it. My God, Richard, our political ideals are pretty close.
How do you feel about weed legalization?
Legalize it.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, see.
Uh-huh.
We're not very
Not going to bother asking you, Chris.
we're not very good conservatives. Richard.
I'm about to go get a fucking coffee and just let you guys take over the reins here. Fucking you two should be like the fucking bosom buddies, living together, fucking dressing like women to get into an only female fucking high rise.
Bosom Buddies was a hell of a show. I mean, I watched that religiously as a child.
I'm sure
It was
you
good
did.
stuff.
It's why I question your
Hanks, my God.
sexuality now.
It's one of the many reasons Steve is Steve.
Steve's
Well, here's my
Steve's
screwed up
like
childhood.
Ed Wood. He's just like, I like to wear women's clothing.
My screwed up childhood. Okay, I was torn because I loved Bosom Buddies, which is kind of a pro, I guess, if you look at it deeper than what the show was, is pro gay marriage type thing or shows like that. But I also like like Dukes of Hazzard, which is probably the total opposite. So, although those two guys, even though they were cousins, they were awful close. So maybe I was influenced by that too. I don't know.
And that
Remember, I wanted
that
to General
man
Lee as
on
my
man
first
porn.
car.
But no, I guess conservative, leaning conservative. But I have a lot of
Honcho
Liberal
magazines
road.
in his closet.
middle of the road, and maybe some of my political ideals would be closer to liberal. But I don't. I just can't. I can't get behind a lot of the liberal type crap.
He can't get behind bent over women. It has to be men.
Just constant stream of gay jokes at Steve's expense, Chris.
And I'm not even offended by them because this week I have to be offended by fanny packs. So
Oh,
I just
so everything
I just
else
kind
is
of
fair
feel
game.
like-
Fanny.
Can we bring up the pedophile shit again?
No, please no. Please no. Okay, I've changed. I am offended by that now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you changed. You were no longer a pedophile.
I never. I make one comment about a guy who allegedly was a pedophile that we don't really know for certain. And, saying just because he's a pedophile, he doesn't necessarily make him, in other areas of his life, not an intelligent person. And you guys make it into this big thing.
We couldn't help ourselves, Steve.
I know, and that's,
We're incredibly immature.
yeah.
Really your own fault if you think about it.
Well, everything I've ever done is my own fault, yes. Joining this show was definitely my own fault.
It was join this show or get sued by the Screen Actors Guild for SEMA and Rat Man and Sea Dog.
All right, no, sit in that one for a second.
I have no idea what he was talking about there.
Oh, I do. He was going for a joke.
And well, yeah. See, it was so bad that I didn't even see that part of it. You know, the joke.
I
Side.
need
There was no joke
I need
there.
to come up with a bomb sound effect for the fucking horrible
That
jokes
would-
on this show.
That wouldn't work.
You know what? You know what? I don't regret it. I went for it. It wasn't funny. It was funnier in my head. I accept it.
Yep.
But I don't regret going for it.
Everything's funnier in my head. See, you would have used the bomb right there.
Yeah.
So you would be using it like every 5 seconds. It would destroy the show.
No.
I wonder what it's like in Steve's head.
Oh,
You're
you
just
don't want to go there.
standing on top of a Vauxhall, a VW, in a toga eating spam.
That sounds wonderful, actually. Yeah, minus the toga. I'm not into that, but the rest of that sounded pretty good.
Things we wonder. What's it like in Steve's head?
You couldn't even imagine.
It's probably.
I'm not saying that to be funny. It's not a pretty place.
You know what, Richard? It's probably like imagine if H.P. Lovecraft got a hold of. Oh shit! I can't even think of the painter's name now. Who did those old timey paintings? I just had it. Fuck.
Bob Ross?
Not Bob Ross. Not fucking Happy Little Trees, you asshole. Norman Rockwell.
But I like Bob Ross.
Imagine if fucking
Oh, Steve.
imagine if all of Norman Rockwell's work was like somehow twisted by H.P. Lovecraft. That's what's in Steve's head. See, on the outside, you see this guy who everybody likes him. He's all fucking, nah. He paints shit green for his wife because he loves her. Inside, Richard,
Immensely. I love
it's-
her immensely.
it's this
sitting right there, isn't
it's
it?
this
No.
cornucopia of
Actually.
darkness wrapped up in an old timey painting.
Here's what it really is inside my head. It's like a giant vacuum. There's nothing in there.
It's like
And that's the fucking truth.
a Dyson.
I take my iPod to work and listen to music all day because I have to have something in there.
You have an iPod? That's
Of course I
surprising
have
to
it.
me.
Why?
I thought you'd have like a fucking Discman or...
I have an old Sony Walkman,
Yeah.
like from 1987 or something.
Cassette tapes.
Yeah, I have one.
They're probably worth something by now.
Not that particular one. It wasn't. I mean, if you had the first version, you know, I guess now we call them generation. The first generation Sony Walkman, it would be worth quite a bit of money. But mine's like a fourth, fifth, sixth, something like that. So it's not that much. It's the Sport Edition.
Ooh. Betamax isn't worth a fair bit these days.
But you didn't ask me what's on my iPod. So
I imagine it's just like fucking Hank Williams
yes.
over and over again.
Well,
Toby Keith,
yes.
Miley Cyrus.
No. No.
Culture
Glad to
Club.
catch you out.
There isn't any of her father on there either. Achy breaky bullshit.
I like Achy Breaky Heart.
Oh my God, that was the worst song ever performed.
That is not true. The worst song ever performed is Anaconda by Nicki Minaj.
See, I don't know that one.
They've done studies.
They've done studies. Scientists came out and said, this is definitely...
Yeah,
That's what you're saying?
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think I've heard Nicki Minaj's Anaconda, so I can't weigh in.
I think it's about a snake.
Yes, that's what it's about.
I
So-
don't think it's about a snake. I
So
think it's about a
basically,
snake.
what we've learned tonight is Richard didn't contact any ghosts.
Because he didn't try.
Oh, fuck off, Steve.
The inside of Steve's head is we're still not sure. And
We can't all live in Steve.
You ever see
this,
cartoons?
And this show sucks a bag of dicks.
Or anacondas, perhaps.
We fucking knew
However
that
you want to look
going
at it.
in. We knew that, though, to be fair.
If you watch the old cartoons and, you know, they look inside the cartoon character's head and it's full of cobwebs, that's pretty much it.
That's
No, that wasn't the funny part is that wasn't a joke. That's what's in there. It's like moths and cobwebs.
Steve, you're a creative genius.
I'm not.
They've done studies.
Yeah, okay.
Is that going to be your new crutch, motherfucker? And they've done studies.
I think I like that.
The CIA has a time machine, guys. They've done studies.
Is that really you trying a British accent? Or
No, I'm not trying a British
It didn't sound
accent.
British at all. It sounded like a newscaster type.
yeah,
I wasn't trying to fucking do a British voice.
terrible.
I thought it sounded a lot like Tom Brokaw.
Tom
I
Brokaw.
thought it sounded like Diane Weist.
What?
I don't even know who that is.
She's a newcaster
From where?
A newcaster?
from America.
Diane who?
West.
Diane West. Related to Mick,
Mick
West?
West?
Should have saved that for the end of the show, Richard.
No, it's fucking too early for that joke.
Damn.
Who the hell is Diane? I'm going to have to Google that now.
You fucking jumped the
Diane
gun.
West.
Richard, how dare you?
Sorry. We could just end the show
Oh, Weist.
now.
Is it Weist? W-I-E-S-T? Diane Weist.
Yes.
You
Yes.
said West.
I said Weist the first time, and you didn't. And then just,
She's not a newscaster.
who is she then?
She is an actress.
Right.
Okay.
Radio. Okay. On that note, Steve, do you have any news to save us from this utter bag of horse shit that we just are about to put out?
I don't know. Every time Richard comes up with the show topic, it ends up like this. That's all.
I didn't come up with the topic.
Yes, you
I
did.
told a story. I told a story.
He didn't see. He didn't even stretch
I
it out.
refused to.
No, he just like 5 seconds of no, we didn't contact any ghosts.
This is how Richard does a show topic, and like when we're trying to dig into the well, like, all right, tomorrow night we're gonna do Mothman. Yes, the Mothman was seen in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
The end.
And there was a TNT factory as well.
Oh,
The
oh,
end.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. For this show, he didn't even fucking quote Wikipedia like we normally do.
the BBC presents 2-minute histories of the supernatural with Richard Allen.
I put time and effort into that urban legend show. Okay, I had a bunch of stories, and it lasted the entire.
Actually,
episode.
I gotta give you that. You're right. You actually did stretch that one out. The urban legends one. Just a pat on the back to you there.
I didn't know I was going to have to stretch anything out. I thought I was just telling a story, and then you'd have an idea for the rest of the show.
No, that's not how this show works.
Have you listened to this fucking show? Oh wait.
Religiously, or I used to.
Yeah. All right. Do you got any news, Steve?
Yep.
Let's fucking end this.
You know, this should have actually been the topic of the show because it's right up our alley. But so this guy, this is from the NewYorkPost.com, but it's all over the fucking place. I've seen it on USA Today and all other places too.
So just tell us what happened.
The university guy blew some taxpayer dollars on Bigfoot.
The university
searches.
guy.
Yeah, I'll get
That
to
tells
his
me
name
a
here in a
lot.
second. Well, a top, in fact, highest level New Mexico official, because, New Mexico's all that and shit, is in hot, and is in, let me start this story over again. A top university of New Mexico.
Landed in New Mexico in the 40s. It must be all that.
Roswell.
Exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which is totally not a fake made-up story. Because Stanton Friedman says so. They've done studies. They have. That is one that, you're right, they have. A top University of New Mexico official is in the hot seat after he spent taxpayer money to fund, you guessed it, a Bigfoot event. Now, this is going to be really funny to me in a second, but Executive Director Dr. Christopher Dyer, no relation.
No relation?
No relation. I don't think. Maybe.
Did he call you a weasel too? He's going to after this show.
No. Well, no. I've actually tried to contact Dr. Dyer several months ago when this all went down, and he never got back to me. So, anyway, Executive Director Dr. Dyer organized a 2-day event on campus, followed by an expedition that cost the taxpayers more than $7,000, according to KRQE TV. KRQE reported that the college paid for the expedition. However, no student or faculty participated in it. Dyer told the station that the conference, called Bigfoot in New Mexico, Evidence, Ecology, and Behavior, was the largest and most well-attended event in the history of the campus. The university footed the bill for the event, including guest speaker meals, airfare, and per diem. Self-professed, and actually I think this is a misprint because I've never heard him profess it, but self-professed Bigfoot expert Dr. Jeff Meldrum was paid $1,000 honorarium plus expenses. The other guest speaker, my buddy Robert Kreider, was paid $500 honorarium, also plus expenses. After the conference, Dyer and some of his companions trekked into the desert in search of this is really where they went. In the desert to search for the legendary creature whose existence has never been verified by science. Dyer said he and his companions did not spot Bigfoot, but they did see its habitat in the desert. Dr. Dyer
in other news, Donald Trump said he's going to find Bigfoot and make America great again.
Yes. Dr. Dyer needs to be much more thoughtful about how he undertakes these acts. University President Robert Frank said, "The type of expedition that just took place was not appropriate and will not occur in that manner again." Dyer used discretionary funds for field work, Dyer said, adding that people use monies from the taxpayers to do research for Bigfoot or whatever. That is his real quote.
Oh, whatever.
He was also quoted, now this isn't
Party
in this
favors,
article.
Cocaine,
Hey,
whatever you need.
This wasn't in this particular article, but he was also quoted as saying it was a big waste of money because, there is no Bigfoot in fucking New Mexico.
How do you know, Steve?
In the desert. Well,
how do you know?
According to Robert Kreider, there is. I spoke with Robert Kreider when this went down. This was, several months ago. And he was trying to make this into some big, giant college event. He was saying a university level study on Bigfoot. Well, it wasn't even, and I tried to get the answer out of him then, and he wouldn't give it to me. He just told me to contact Dr. Dyer, and I tried, and Dr. Dyer wouldn't respond. But he was trying to make it a college level study on Bigfoot, which it wasn't, because according to this article and according to the president of the University of New Mexico Gallup campus, which is where this was, it wasn't even sponsored by the college at all. Now, I don't have a problem, and I've said this on Facebook a couple times, I don't have a problem with the conference being on the campus. That's fine. They do that kind of shit all the time about different things. When I was in college, we had, as long as it was open to the students, faculty, whatever, even in the public, that was fine. I don't have a problem with that shit. It's the expedition that happened afterwards that I think people are going to have the issue with, and that's why there's a problem with this. Because it wasn't open to anybody but Dr. Dyer, Robert Kreider, and a few people that they chose to go with him that had nothing to do with the school. And that's why there's an outrage. And I think that's probably a good reason.
I don't know, good reason, Steve. It's practically criminal.
Well, I would say because like I said, the expedition itself, not the conference, that was open to everybody. That's discretionary. If you want to do a Bigfoot conference on a college campus. Now, for those who don't know, this isn't the actual University of New Mexico. It's the Gallup campus, which is, for most things, is a 2-year school. I've looked into it. They only have basically associate's degrees and certificate programs. They do have some 4-year stuff too, but generally, if you go to the University of New Mexico campus at Gallup, you're going there and then later go on to a 4-year school. It's your entry level, basically. So they don't even have the facilities to analyze evidence there. It's not what they do. But having the conference there is fine. The expedition that wasn't open to student, faculty, or anybody from the college except Dr. Dyer himself, and he actually paid for some other people to go with college funds. That's wrong, that in my opinion. So.
Except for Dr. Dyer and his associate, Dr. Witten.
See, I get that joke.
Yeah.
Most people probably won't. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I actually posted on Dr. Meldrum's. Dr. Meldrum had a response to this, and he's all pissed off about it, this article. But I don't think people are so mad about the conference part of it. And Dr. Meldrum and Robert Kreider, both on their Facebook pages, are mainly talking about that side of things. It's the expedition side, I think, that is the issue, and that's what I said on Dr. Meldrum's Facebook comment.
It was basically a paid expedition, but by the taxpayers, and nobody got to go.
Right.
Until Dr. Meldrum apologizes for involving himself with a cunt like Todd Standing, I could give a shit less what he has to say.
Well, I have to somewhat agree with you. I mean, Dr. Meldrum is an intelligent man, but I don't think he had anything to do with, the expedition. He wasn't on it, as far as I can tell. But Dr. Dyer definitely was.
Maybe he thought he was just going to. Maybe he thought he was just getting on the Muppet Show.
And I don't care if it's Bigfoot or a known animal. It wasn't open to anybody else from the college campus. It wasn't a college. It wasn't a college event. It wasn't sponsored by the college in any way. So using taxpayer money for that particular thing, it's not research.
With our very special guest, Dr. Jeff Meldrum.
And when you have a response like, well, we always use monies from taxpayers to do research for whatever, it's not a good response. That was just, I think he made himself look pretty stupid. Or whatever. Yeah.
Or whatever. Whatever we feel like doing with the money, we'll do.
Right, and that shouldn't be how, I mean, even using discretionary funds should have some sort of, there should be some checks and balances there, even though it's discretionary funds. So it's just like somebody at the college paying their rent for a month with discretionary funds. To me, you're doing it for personal stuff, and that shouldn't be done. From themirror.co.uk. I'm done with that story, by the way. Ghost Hunter captures terrifying footage of a dead girl, and she was saying something, and she was saying there's a bad man over there, and it was at an abandoned asylum.
Richard, did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that noise?
So when Richard says there's no dead people, he hasn't seen or heard this story.
Let me guess, the little girl was saying, "Woo, Richard, I'm communicating to you from here."
Actually, I don't know. I haven't read the story yet, but she may have. Paranormal investigator. I don't read these stories prior to reading them on the air. It would be too much work.
It'd probably stop at least 20% of the cock-ups if you did.
It would be too much work. Paranormal investigator Mark Vernon says he could hear a little girl talking, and she saw a shadow man, or he saw a shadow man, dart past the camera as he filmed at a haunted house in Wales. Oh, this is right up near you somewhere, isn't it?
Who
Terrifying.
knows what darkness...
You racist bastard.
Well, you think that California and Ohio are like right next to each other and shit like that, so I could think that Wales is...
Well, Wales is right next to me because it's fucking part of the United Kingdom. Oh,
Right.
God.
Right.
Ireland's right next door as well. And
Yes.
Cornwall. And the Isle of Man. We're all just one little island.
Right. Isn't that the way it is? Everybody over there knows each other and shit like that?
Yes, Steve, we all know each other. I was just saying to Adam Davis the other day, that's Steve Alcorn.
Bitch lips?
What a twat.
We're not supposed to talk about that on the show anymore, are we?
Did you refer when you spoke to him? Did you say, "Hey, bitch lips"?
No, I didn't say that.
No, because they're all friendly over there to each other.
Oh,
Indeed, we have a jolly good time and drink tea and have crumpets.
What is a crumpet anyway? I'm still trying to figure that out.
A crumpet? I'm just trying to think of an American equivalent. There isn't one.
Listen. I was watching Benedict Cumberbatch on Jimmy Fallon, and he used the word crumbs as like an exclamation. How's that work? Is that like saying shit?
It's what posh people say instead of shit.
Huh.
Oh, all right.
Crumbs.
Posh people.
Terrifying footage captured of a dead girl saying, "There's a bad man over there," according to Mark Vernon. Paranormal investigator Mark Vernon was filming at an abandoned asylum in Wales when he claims to have caught this chilling activity. He said at one point a shadow man and a mist rushed towards him while he was filming from the upstairs landing at the...
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow Man knows.
He was filming at the haunted pool park in Ruthin, Denbighshire. Did I say that right, Richard? Probably not.
Pool Park, Beckenshire.
Yeah, good enough. Mark from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, I said that right, said, "We travel around the country helping people who suffer from paranormal problems." And
exactly
I also
what they do, though. And that's my question to these people is, what do you do? How do you help? You go in there and you record some dodgy noises and say, "Oh yeah, we're helping you with the ghost."
What was that?
I don't know. But he also...
Did you see that Paranormal Collector show about that guy that went into people's houses and nicked stuff because he said it was attached to ghosts?
No, I didn't catch
I've
that.
heard of it. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
That's a good scam.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant scam. Oh yeah, this 1967 Chevy's definitely possessed. I'll take it back to my house.
I would hope that he would take a 57 and not a 67, but, you know...
I don't know cars, Steve.
Apparently. A 67 is nice. But,
listen,
57.
That baseball card was definitely given to a kid by a guy who owned a devil store. You have to give it to me.
I know it's a Mickey Mantle rookie card, but still.
Same.
He also goes to interesting places and investigates because he thinks they might be haunted, I guess. He says when he saw pictures of this place, he saw it was right in the middle of nowhere. It looked like it was lost and forlorn.
He said, "Wow, people will really believe this is a haunted place."
It was all boarded up and there was a mist around. Mark set up cameras to film the location for 10 hours. There
was a mist around all of the other areas in the area too.
Well, yeah. The first clip,
unlimited mist.
Yes, the first clip caught on film shows what he called the Shadow Man.
It was really dark. Duh! It was fucking nighttime.
He was using a motion detector camera, by the way. Mark said the man was difficult to catch clearly on film because it's a different frequency to humans, of course. But because he positioned a second camera to film the eerie goings-on, he caught it. Because, two cameras, that confuses the frequency, apparently.
Two cameras are better than one, Steve.
Yeah. He said shadow men can take many forms. They can appear however they want.
It's triple the fun.
And if they know cameras are there, they won't come out. He just like Bigfoot, apparently.
Do the shadow? I was just gonna say, do the shadow man hang out with Bigfoot?
I guess so.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Ghosts do that now as well, do they?
Yes.
Ghosts, Bigfoot, every paranormal or cryptozoological thing knows about cameras.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing now.
There's been studies. You see, on a rare occasion.
Oh God, Steve, I gotta give you that one.
Anyway, so he caught this little girl talking about a bad man. He doesn't know she was talking about the shadow man, but she probably didn't even know because she didn't show herself, even though we heard.
They said he drove a VW bus, wore a cowboy hat, and it said "free candy" on the side.
I'm done with that stupid story.
Good.
Okay.
Moving on.
Shadow men and little girls that know about cameras and whatever. So this is a book review that Chris sent me. I don't know why, but we'll read it anyhow. This is from this is from the USA Today. It says, "Do you believe?"
What?
It's a UFO book.
We're sourcing reputable places.
Yes, we do that on occasion.
Fucking hell, Chris.
It says,
Are you selling out?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why would I sell out? That. I've quoted Reuters and the Washington Post on this show before. Once or twice.
Wow.
Matt Knapp was named a Bigfoot expert in the Washington Post. Let's not forget that.
That's right.
Moment of silence for Matt Knapp.
Mm-hmm.
Moment's passed.
Okay. Do you believe Chuck Zukowski, a chatty ufologist who goes by the nicknames UFO Nut and the Mulder of El Paso, certainly believes
the Mulder of El Paso?
Yes. Because if you're going to be a Mulder of something.
I was sitting here talking with the Mulder of El Paso.
If you're going to be the Mulder of somewhere, why not El Paso?
I envy that. I want to be the Mulder of somewhere.
His decades-long journey along the southern ridge of Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Arizona, the 37th north parallel in latitude, is the spine of the 37th parallel, the secret truth behind America's UFO highway. A riveting new read from best-selling author Ben
The UFO
Mesrich.
superhighway.
Mm-hmm. Along this desolate, largely uninhabited
Steve,
stretch of land...
if there's a UFO highway, it's gotta be ancient aliens.
Along this desolate, largely uninhabited stretch of land, mysterious things happen with eerie frequency. Strange flying objects, thousands of mutilated cows and horses, drained of blood and missing surgically removed reproductive organs, tongues and ears, unexplained lights starting in the sky, alleged underground military installations, and etc. It's because I kind of forgot to see the period at the end of the sentence, so I put etc. on there. Did it sound professional enough? No. No. It's a paranoid's worst nightmare, mixing real science and research with faceless men in black SUVs and top secret government operations. He says, I'm from a family of scientists and a skeptic, Mesrich. That's Mesrich saying that. He's also the author of The Accidental Billionaires, a best-selling book upon which the movie The Social Network is based. He says, I assumed most of the UFO community was crazy, but the scientific approach of Zukowski, a microchip engineer and former sheriff's deputy and the top-secret space project of a reclusive billionaire, persuaded Mesrich, and he says, I believe that something happened at Roswell. See, we talked about Roswell.
It's a UFO, Steve!
Roswell is the holy grail of UFO lore. In July 1947, an unidentified flying object skidded across the New Mexico desert, leaving a trail of debris. The Roswell Army Airfield initially issued a press release suggesting a flying disc
those teenage,
crashed on that
those
ranch.
teenage aliens trying to make YouTube videos shouldn't have come in that close. Steve.
They shouldn't.
They were
shouldn't.
They were very progressive because YouTube didn't even exist then.
Alien
maybe it did
YouTube
to them.
did.
They're from outer space.
Oh, so alien YouTube.
Where do you think
course
we
they-
got it from, Steve?
Of
Well,
course, they
you know-
already had their own internet, Steve.
We back engineered the YouTube and came out with,
Pack engineered.
yes, reverse engineered, whatever you want to call
That's
it.
better. Yeah.
It's the same thing. You went backwards.
Back engineered.
You have
Who
to-
says that?
I do.
Okay.
Anyway, hours later, the RAAF officials claimed it was a wayward weather balloon. Like a true obsessive, Zukowski has tirelessly searched the back roads and mountains of the Southwest in search of the truth, just like the fictional Fox Mulder character on the groundbreaking TV series The X-Files, from which Zukowski draws comparisons. Indeed, if Hollywood had its way, Robert Downey Jr. would play Zukowski in a planned movie project. You see, this is going to be a movie, so it's not real. They're just making shit up for a movie and a book to make some money.
Oh,
Fair enough.
It says that right here in the story.
God.
What do you think happened at Roswell, Steve?
Something crashed,
Great.
and it wasn't a weather balloon.
What was it then?
Well, according to the government, it was a Project Mogul balloon, which came out many, 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 many years later, which was just a balloon with some radar detecting shit on it.
Huh.
Top secret stuff. Or it was a UFO, I don't know. One theory, my favorite theory about the Roswell crash is that it was a rogue Japanese airplane, and because, the aliens are shorter and stuff, that it was actually the pilots of that airplane, and it's a stereotypical, that all Japanese people are short and shit. But that's my favorite argument.
In 47,
Yes.
right
They were
after the
still-
end of the World War.
Right. They were still, trying a little
Fair
bit.
play.
And, they made it all the way. They made it all the way to New Mexico somehow.
I was going to say, there's better targets to hit than
Allegedly.
New Mexico.
Well, no, because
It's not the stupidest theory I've ever heard. though.
Roswell Army Airfield was there, and that was where they, all the nuclear bombs are on those planes and shit. That's where they had flown out of, I guess. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, so this guy's writing a book, and there's going to be a movie, and I'll probably watch it.
Of course you will. I actually watched probably half of Krampus.
I was looking up Krampus the other day, movies, and there's like a ton of them. A ton of different Krampus
I'm
movies
talking
that
about
have
the
been
new
made.
one that actually hit theaters.
Oh, well, see.
Last year, I think it was.
Somebody in one of my local Facebook groups was posting that some of them have been filmed locally, and so I looked it up, and there was like several. It was pretty cool.
My
Krampus is
brother
big here.
almost got me to watch the new Ghostbusters movie.
Almost. How close did you get?
Almost went over.
Almost.
Almost. That doesn't tell me
And
how
then I
close
was
you
like-
got.
No.
I mean, were you like walking out the door, getting into the car and going, or did you just like sit on the couch and say, nah?
I put my phone down for a second, thought about it, and then texted him and said no.
So that's not almost. That's like,
It was pretty close.
no, that's not even close at all. You didn't get up. You didn't put your coat on and go out to the car. You didn't, like...
Almost would have
shave and
been
shit.
like you drove over to his house, sat on the couch, he started the movie, and then you were like, "Yeah, I'm out."
Well, wouldn't even have to start the movie. It just, the act of getting out of the house is closer to almost than sitting on the couch, putting your phone down, and then immediately texting back saying no. That's
The
not
fact that I
almost.
hesitated is too close for me, Steve.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I think your version of almost is vastly different than mine.
Not where this movie's concerned. I'm never going to watch it.
Oh, by the way, that was the news.
Oh,
I'm
good.
supposed to say that at the end of the news.
Someone
Well,
get
just-
me
it's-
Mick
wasn't
Reese.
It's a good. Fuck you. It's a. You jumped the gun on that early, so fuck off.
Sorry.
It's a good transitional piece, though, Steve. When you say that's the news,
Yeah, because then you know
you
I'm
do.
done.
You do claim to be a professional, so I mean, it only makes sense that you would do something professional on this show.
I would like
besides
to
just show
come
up.
up with a. I would like to come up with a catchy tagline at the end, but I'm not that smart.
No,
Stay
you're not.
classy, YouTube.
Yeah, see, that's been done.
I know, but it's funny because it's retro.
Well, so is what you're talking about, Willis, but I ain't gonna say that either.
It wouldn't make much sense. None of us are called Willis.
What would fucking what you talking about, Willis, have to do with ending the news?
It's a catchy tagline, right?
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, it does sort of make sense in Steve logic.
Everything,
I mean,
I
everything
guess.
makes sense. Everything is connected somehow.
Oh, speaking of everything is connected, have you checked out Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, Richard?
no.
Ah, it's pretty fucking out there. I've watched the first 3 episodes. It's pretty decent. I like it so far.
Okay,
And-
we'll give it a shot.
For the record, I saw Doctor Strange. Took my son
So
to see
good.
it yesterday. That movie is awesome.
Oh,
It is.
I watched an episode of Daredevil. There you go.
Oh my god.
I watched. I'm watching right now a murder.
No, wait,
episode of Murder
Steve,
She Wrote.
Steve, stand down. How
You guys say
fucking
that I don't do pop
Wait,
culture. I'm watching
wait,
Murder She
wait.
Wrote. I'm starting.
Shut the
you know, back,
fuck up.
back.
I
way
don't
back
care.
when. I got to get caught up.
It's like a fucking fire hose being turned on.
Wait, what? I have to get caught up. You guys say they don't know enough. I got to go back, dig deep, get caught up with the pop culture. I had to start in the
Sure.
70s.
Yeah, that's a good place for you to start, Steve.
I started with Columbo, and now we're on Murder, She Wrote. Yeah. So
Eh.
I think
Excellent.
we should end it. I think we should end it.
No, I'm curious to know how far into Daredevil dumbass got.
Oh,
Just one
well,
episode. I watched a episode.
That just one
Yeah, just one. I didn't care for it.
of the second season or the first season?
First season.
Seriously? I thought you said you'd
Seriously.
watched some of the first season already.
No. I was refusing to watch it because you kept insisting I should watch it.
Which one? So you watched the very first episode?
Might have been the first episode, yeah.
What do you
I
gonna
think
fucking
I'm gonna-
start the series in the middle?
he doesn't care.
I might do. I don't care. I just dance to my own rhythm, Chris.
He's a rebel that way.
Maybe I'll watch the last episode first and work backwards.
Huh.
So you watch TV like Quentin Tarantino directs movies?
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I watched
yeah.
a episode. Wasn't that impressed with it. So,
Well, fuck off. I think it's great. But Doctor Strange was awesome. I loved Benedict Cumberbatch in the role. There was some really great scenes in the movie. The story was solid. And from what
It was
I
a good
hear,
film.
it stuck close to a lot of source material, so it was
yeah, that
That's
might
pretty
be the
good.
reason I enjoyed it. Is because I never read the Doctor Strange comics. So.
yeah. I never really read them either. I actually grabbed a bunch a while ago because I was going to read some of them just to get a look at the character, but I never had the time. But it is what it is. And Fuckhead
It's going to be a good few years for comic
Fuckhead
films.
already ruined the Mick West bit, so
Yeah, this is where we usually do that, right?
Beast.
Just die. This has been the Fortean Slip, episode 131. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. This week, I won't be offended if you hit the thumbs down button. Leave a comment, subscribe, check out theforteanslip.com or theforteanslip.blogspot.com. As always, if you're listening to this, the audio version of this, come on over to YouTube, at least give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let us know you're out there. Check out Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and at youtube.com/Dred Funn. Check out Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads. Richard's blog is underneath the YouTube video on the YouTube page. And Steve has nothing. There's no place you can see anything for Steve. Don't bother. Don't watch his fucked up videos where he goes from having commentary on paranormal / Bigfoot things to how to install a fucking radio.
I'm just talented like that.
This is just like the longest outro in the history of outros.
Yeah, I'm stretching it, Richard.
Hurry up, Father Dowling's coming on.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got anything? You got anything else, Richard?
Yeah, unless your name is Mary, then don't comment. Just kill yourself.
See ya!